Hello and welcome to a new Blitz video, 3 minutes with no increment, with the black pieces against Demon Killer. And we are going for maybe a Petrov or, I don't know, okay, knight c6. And we have an Italian. Both these moves are the main ones. I will go with bishop c5. And we have an Evans Gambit. Okay, bishop b7, bishop here are two playable moves, but it's mostly something that I've seen from the white side, so it's going to be difficult. Okay, I think they usually go d4 instead. Here I can play d6 safely, I believe, and after queen b3 I have some knight a5 ideas. After bishop here I have king to f8, which works fine. Knight to f6. If pawn takes now, I'm happy to trade everything. And I'm still up a pawn. Yep, this one. Okay, there is pressure on f7, but I have the time to castle. If rook d1, queen e8 to c6, most likely. The pawn on f3, on e4 is hanging, which he can maybe protect with f3, but that would give me bishop c5 check with tempo. Maybe c6. If I go c6, I don't have a square for the queen anymore, and he can play a4. So maybe bishop c5 first. If I go queen to e7, maybe now he cannot go for a4, bishop a3. Or at least I will manage to trade this bishop against for this one, whilst keeping my queen on the board, which I would like to. Rook to d8. I guess he wants to move the knight, yes, but he needed to protect the pawn on e4 first. Now maybe bishop g5 is an option, so also knight g5 to put third pressure on f7, so I'm stopping that one. Okay, I'm happy to trade those. And okay, I think it's time for c6. Yeah, he doesn't want to allow b5, which I think is quite understandable. I have this square which I would like to occupy. Knight to h5, knight f4. If g3, he loses the pawn on h3. The rook is kind of strange on e3. Not really sure what it is doing at the moment, but at least it will be well positioned to deal with stuff like knight takes h3 followed by queen f3, because the knight will be protected. In that regard it is well placed, I guess. Knight to f4, why not? Actually, maybe he had knight here. No, he didn't. I was thinking of stuff like this. But the queen is protecting. Knight h2, queen g5, rook g3. Okay, I'll go h5. I will try to remove this possibility from the rook. Will push my pawn all the way up to h4, so that I can bring my queen to g5 next, with mate threats on g2. Maybe I can try to prepare b5 as well, with something like rook to b8. Not a6, because it would allow a5, after which I cannot play b5 without ruining my pawn structure here. Okay, h4, this was the plan. He's getting ready to protect this one with g3, I guess. But queen g5, g3, knight h3 looks pretty good. Bishop here, king f8, gh, queen takes. Or maybe even, okay, against this maybe he has rook to f3, so I will go for this one. Knight f2, if he captures, do I have an intermediate move? Don't think so, I'm not sure, so I will just take. I had this, no I didn't, but this is now a threat, which I will go for. Is there a mate? Okay, I'll just take here, check. Okay, thanks for, sorry, not very much. This is a video. Okay, I'm not sure I played this very well. Let's have a look. b4, Yeah, bishop a5 is the main move, but I think it is a bit tougher to handle from the black side. I may be wrong about this, and maybe this is just depending on preferences and it's not really something objective. But okay, I played bishop e7, and I think against d4 it's something like knight here. And we are happy to give this pawn on e5 back in order to get the light squared bishop. Thus the bishop pair. It's something like knight a5, knight takes, knight here, and we go d5, which is why yeah, people just return with the bishop, but I think we are happy here as black. Instead he castled, which gives me enough time to protect my center, and also I don't have problems against f7. Against something like queen b3 I thought I would have knight a5. The computer prefers knight h6, but knight a5 is also okay, I guess. The point was that after bishop takes, king here, the queen is hanging, but it cannot remain on the diagonal and protect the bishop. So after the queen moves, attacking the knight makes the most sense. We take the bishop, and we are kind of happy here. We have the two bishops, which probably compensate well enough for the slight inconvenience caused by the fact that we had to move the king. Pawn to d4 was played, knight f6, counter-attacking against the pawn on e4, de. Here pawn takes e5 was playable as well, but well, knight takes e5 was played against someone that I actually met over the board in 2017. Knight takes de, queen b3. We are still following that game. Rook d1. Okay, he played bishop d6. I preferred queen e8. Knight d2, bishop c5. This is the most active diagonal for the bishop, so I'm putting it right there. h3. I guess he was afraid of knight to g4. Queen to e7. I would like to develop my stuff, and my queen is still in the way of the rook. So, queen to e7, rook e1. Preparing knight f3 so that I cannot capture the pawn on e4. Rook d8, knight f3, h6. Preventing a white piece from landing on g5 and annoying me. Bishop e3 I captured, which was probably not necessary. Yeah, knight d7 was the other move I was thinking about. I don't really like bishop d6. This just looks quite passive, so I wanted to trade or give the tension with knight d7, but I don't really understand bishop d6. Rook e3, c6. Anyway, I'm still up a pawn. Here I would like to go b5, so my opponent stopped it with a4. Knight to h5. I thought knight h5 would be good. It is okay, but considered as an inaccuracy by the computer. Rook a to e1. Not really sure what the rook is planning on doing on this square, but okay, the rooks are aligned on the same file. Knight to f4. I'm trying to arrange my pieces near his king. Knight h2, h5. Yeah, here I would like to go for something like, oh, nope, something like this, but okay, for the time being I have to deal with bishop takes f7 check possibilities, and also rook g3, which could be a nuisance. So I started with h5 so that I can get my pawn there and prevent the rook from reaching the g3 square. Knight to f1, h4, knight h2, queen g5, threatening a cheeky checkmate. g3, knight h3, he took there. Yeah, my first intention was to go king here, but I think it would have been kind of okay after this. Okay, even bishop e6 was stronger. Yeah, I understand why now. Bishop here. My knight is hanging, so I have to trade first. And my only escape square is this one, after which there's rook check, so I'm losing. And I went in the corner. Bishop e6 now, but there is no rook f3 check. So I have enough time to escape with my knight, and I'm not losing any material. I am now, what, 2 pawns up? Recaptured with the rook that had not been developed yet. Queen to c2, attacking the knight, but omitting the knight g4 fork. King g2 I captured. And yeah, here I don't know if h3 was working. Kind of wanted to play this, but I didn't really see a concrete follow-up, so I just took the material. And my opponent resigned in this position. I would like to bring my rook to the f file, possibly to f2. After which it looks pretty unlikely that the white king will manage to escape. Okay, Evans Gambit with the bishop to e7, which is one of a couple of possibilities available at Black's disposal. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.